Oh, come on. We needed a little birthday music. Today's a big day. It's our second birthday of the Sunday gathering. Welcome to wherever you are in the world. My name is Sandra Champlain. Oh, and I'm here with my good friends, Carrie McLeod, Philip Dykes, and Scott Milligan. And our fifth is Darren Wynn, who cannot be here today. His father had some emergency surgery and he will be well. But Darren's place right now is to be with his mom and with his dad. So we're going to send lots of healing thoughts to Darren's dad. And we have other dads in the community that need a little prayer, and moms. And also today is Mother's Day for some parts of the world. So if you're one of those moms celebrating today, just a warm and wonderful happy Mother's Day to you. Without you, we wouldn't be here today, would we? No, we would not. So today our theme is looking back, and Darren has created our service for today and our theme and picked our music. And what looking back means to me really is where we were 2 years ago today, starting this Sunday gathering, knowing we had a vision in our hearts to share and try to bring joy and comfort and spirituality, never knowing it would keep on going this long. And so we're absolutely delighted. But it just reminds me, in some of the deepest, darkest, most difficult times, we cannot see how things are going to play out and how things are going to work out. So with our theme today of looking back, I think we can all say that these past 2 years have been difficult, yes, but there's also been some joy and some things that we can be grateful for. And so as we go through our service today, just think about for you, what are those things that have brought you some joy? I know number one for me is the quality time I've been able to spend with my mom. Number two is probably this community that we've built here, not only between our Sunday gatherings, but we have so many online courses, and so many people have been touched by their own souls and by the spirit world. And so we just think we have these glistening lights all over the world, which represent you guys. So having this community would be number two. And number three would be getting more in touch with nature. I always appreciated nature, but never to the degree that I do now. So I'm very, very grateful. So I'm going to pass it over to Scott for our opening prayer.
Thank you, Sandra, and a very warm welcome to you all. And wherever you are in the world, hopefully that you are feeling the peace that washes over all of us in this time where we can come together as one. And in your own way, in your own understanding, could we join together in a circle of peace? And as we turn to face one another, may we call out to a world we call unseen. And may we walk within the temple that no earthly hands have built, so that we can find the strength to climb the steps to the altar of peace, to drink the milk of human kindness. But as we gather here to relieve the pain and suffering, may we call out to those who inspire and ask if there is a need. May the thoughts and love that pass through our workers this day touch the hearts of all. If we are to stand, steady our way and take what is needed, as we have come to serve, as we reflect upon the days that pass, within ourselves and within our beings, we find that peace to know that the road ahead is illuminated by the love of the eternal Spirit. But as we gather here, for the world we call unseen, may we stand to serve, and may our love move to the four corners of this world. Amen.
Thank you, Scott. And now I'm going to be doing the reading. And this is actually the same reading I did 2 years ago today. And I thought, well, several of us actually thought it would be interesting to do this. So it was divinely planned. A young woman went to her mother and told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She did not know how she was going to make it, and she wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling. It seemed as one problem was solved, another one arose. Her mother took her to the kitchen. She filled 3 pots with water. In the first, she placed carrots. In the second, she placed eggs. And in the third, she placed ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil without saying a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee into a bowl. Turning to her daughter, she asked, "Tell me what you see." "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," the daughter replied. She brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. She did, and she noted that they were soft. She then asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard boiled egg. Finally, she asked her to sip the coffee. The daughter smiled as she tasted its rich aroma. The daughter then asked, "Mother, what's the point?" Her mother explained that each of these objects had faced the same adversity, boiling water, but each reacted differently. The carrot went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it became soft and weak. The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer shell had protected its liquid interior. But after being through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however. After they were in the boiling water, they had actually changed the water. "Which are you?" she asked the daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean?" And for each one of us watching our Sunday gathering right now, think of this. Which am I? Am I the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity, do I wilt and become soft and lose my strength? Or am I the egg that starts with a malleable heart, but changes with heat? Did I have a fluid spirit, but after a death, a breakup, a financial hardship, or some other trial, have I become hardened and stiff? Does my shell look the same, but on the inside, am I bitter and tough with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changes the hot water, the very circumstance that brings the pain. When the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and flavor. If you are like the bean, when things are at their worst, you get better and change the situation around you. When the hours are the darkest and the trials are their greatest, do you elevate to another level? So that's the question. How do you handle adversity? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Thanks for listening. I'm going to pass it over to Scott for the healing.
Thank you. And thank you for reminding us of how we can view and change through situations. And for this time, when we look, that so much has happened in 2 years, and we have gone through one of our toughest days, fighting an invisible, which comes visible when it touches us. And then we are reminded of the conflicts across the world. And from that dark day, we created a community where a healing balm like a drop of rain that ripples out in the lake of peace. So at this moment, if you are someone who is in need of great love or healing, or just being reminded that you are special and you're not forgotten, take this as a gift from this community into your hearts. But also, if you are to share your love to the world and those countries that seem to be going through great change, may we touch them and touch the hearts of those who command the people, so that their words are given wisdom and our hearts are given peace. So if you can just close your eyes, and let's use this time to listen to the music and allow it to move you in whatever way. So as this music creeps within your awareness, just shake the dust of the day and remember the happy times of life, when your body was strong and your voice was loud, your heart was big and your love was deep. As those who walk with us give their love with our thoughts in this gentle moment of peace. As the sounds around you fade and move back into the silence, may all that you have felt, all that you have thought and wished for is touched by this power. And may the healing continue until the need is met, no matter if that's today or tomorrow or for another story. As your mind softly drifts from that place of rest, as these words disturb you, we look back over our shoulder of the years that have passed, but then we look to the horizon of the many days to come, and we do so with a smile in our hearts, because we know that as we continue to build a power today, it strengthens what is to come. Has it been 2 years since I've held your hand? Has it been 2 years since we sat in each other's company? On this day, we started, we touched a button and clicked a mouse, and then the Sunday Global Gathering began. And how people were captivated and inspired to either sit for a moment or start their own community. For people who are unable to leave their houses were given another sense of freedom. Freedom in the sense that they were able to watch and listen to all voices around the world. And look how far we've come at the footprints that we've left behind. There will still be challenges of today, and there will still be obstacles to overcome. But as the words of Sandra has already echoed, that you will always overcome. I cannot believe that in these 2 years, how things have evolved, how people like myself and you good people as well have had to change how we think and how we act and how we listen to the world we call unseen, how the spirit world have had to adapt, and we've had to be patient, especially when we're trying to get an internet connection. And we're sitting there thinking or praying, saying, would it work if I sat over there or did this here? And I wonder if the spirit world do the same. I wonder, will they hear us clearly today, or will they feel my love instead? How frustrating must it be for the spirit person that draws close to say, today I will talk, and the medium being distracted and said, oh, something's on TV. We make a promise, you and I, that we will do all that we can for those who have not lost their lives, but they have lost their voice. The spirit is more real than you and I, and they walk softly by our side. I'm also humbled by how many people have received the messages from our workers. How many tears have fallen, not through sadness, but from that moment of realizing that their loved one has not gone. And how the minds of our workers have been animated to share the memories which are precious, that fall into the hearts of those who hear. And if you haven't received a message, we take comfort from those who have received. As there is a gentle whisper of what we say, may the message go to the greatest need. And on that day, on their darkest moment, that they've been able to be given just a brief moment of happiness. How the spirit world are evolving today, where one day mediums will not be needed, as the spirit world will be able to talk to all of us. and weave their love and threads of hope throughout our entire being. When all of us come to accept or have an awakening, how much peace will be within this world. My heart is saddened as we look over our shoulder at our brothers and sisters who seem to be fighting one another, trying to claim something that is older than them and will still live beyond their lives. How now that these years that have passed will leave its stain within history. I wonder in years to come when children are learning about the coronavirus or what is happening with Ukraine, they'll say, how difficult must it be? But thank God today we don't have this, we only have peace. And how the mediums that are coming along or yet to be born will look back and say, services were done from this weird thing called Zoom. And how they will say, I don't know how they did it, because technology has moved to such a way. We are ever changing, you and I. We are ever progressing to try and further our own understanding of being kind to one another. But today marks the birth of a new hour. As in the United Kingdom, the clocks have moved forward. The grip that we had, which has held us throughout this year, has faded. And now spring approaches us. How the flowers are slowly blossoming or awakening from their sleep. The trees are starting to come alive with life, and the birds are singing once again. How things are changing, how things are moving and becoming brighter. We're also lucky today is another anniversary, as it is Mother's Day, and how we celebrate and how we show our love. But we also are painfully reminded that some people may not have mums that stand next to them physically, but now stand next to them from a world, as I say, unseen. And our hearts go to them. Our love goes to them, because you and I know what it's like to hold someone one moment, to have it change in the next. With the 2 years that have passed, our families have either grown or the table may seem a little emptier, but our hearts overflow. I speak about this not in sadness, but with confidence, because I know that death is not the end. But I am aware that some people on this day are falling into their darkest moment by having to say their final words. But why should we say our final words when we continue to talk as they continue to listen? My friend in the spirit world said to me, we're only dead to this world if we're forgotten. To think of us keeps us alive. Death is the greatest lie that ever's been spoken or written. Death has been described by Arthur Finlay being but a bend in a road, a step upon a path, and we will see all who we have loved, not how they were, but something much greater. Love can never die, and neither can you. I do not wish to leave this moment, because this is a celebration of how things have changed. As I said, from a dark moment, gave us the opportunity to put in practice a thought, what was created within a line between Darren and Sandra, Phil and Carrie, and how they've carried this promise and seen it come to life and still stand for this day. And each week they meet because they made that promise to be the voice of eternity. And from your love, it echoes out, because really you are the evidence now that the spirit world exists, because you are here. Be a seeker or be someone who has found an acceptance of death. So let us not mourn, let us celebrate. Let us raise our hearts and our thoughts to the knowledge that your loved one lives on. They have parties, they have gatherings, they have laughter. They talk about us, they have a sense of humor. They must look at all of us who are sitting here and laugh at us. Look at them trying to commune. But they are overjoyed because they know for a moment that they live within your hearts. So continue to smile, continue to be you, and be no other. And remember, what may have been said in the past may not have any relevance of today. We make friends, we don't make enemies. So thank you for listening, and thank you for allowing me to hold the light of this circle for a moment, but I hand it back and make this light brighter. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you very much, Scott. I had this thought while you were speaking about 2 years, and if we all had a kid together, could you imagine this 2-year-old, what it would look like? It might not be pretty, although all babies are cute in some way, but it would have the biggest heart and would have so much love and would be able to see into the spirit world, and above and beyond everything else, it would have the best sense of humor, wouldn't it? That would be our kid together. Yes, it would. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And we have Carrie and Phil in the house. Yes, we do. Well, actually, they're in separate houses right now, but we are all together under one big virtual roof, aren't we? And this is the time that we celebrate coming together. Now, the spirit world is with us. Certainly, they have jobs to do and lives to lead when they're in the hereafter, of course. But they're only a whisper, a thought, a breath, a heartbeat away from us. And through our demonstrations every week, you get to see really how close they are. They're with us in our smiles and our laughs and our tears and our heartaches. And between Carrie and Phil, and occasionally we've had some guest mediums on, gosh, I don't even know what the math would be if you take 52 weeks times 2 years times, say, 5 people come through. How many voices have been able to be heard through our Sunday gatherings? It's just been wonderful. And I know Carrie and Phil teach our mediumship classes, and they teach our students really that, and this is the truth, when we go over there, we are real people. We have our personalities, we have love in our heart, and they really want to represent the spirit world and let them speak their voices again. And so they do that. Our friends and loved ones know they're not balls of energy out there somewhere. They are real living people, and they'll be the first to greet us when it's our turn to go. But until then, what we do is we bring smiles through our demonstration. So Carrie and Phil are going to each demonstrate mediumship today. And I know we've got several new friends with us for the first time. And this is how it goes. One of them will go first. And the spirit world has this orchestrated. They will plant thoughts and feelings into Carrie or Phil's mind and being, and they'll do their best to express a few details of the person that has contacted them. So you might hear them say, I have a mother here who did this for a living, or something like that. We want you to be on the edge of your seat, listening in. And we're going to ask that if you can understand all the information that they said in their first few statements, as somebody that you know that no longer walks this earth, could be a friend, could be a family member. Sometimes it's a bit distant. But if your soul is resonating, saying, hey, that's my person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, if you want to look on your device and find out where that raised hand button is and press it just to test the waters, see how it works, go right ahead. Yeah, everybody likes to press this button. Even if you've been with us for 2 years, your hands are still going up. It's fun, right? All right, now you can press it one more time. It should say lower hand, and watch all the hands go down. That's right. Now, sometimes it takes a minute or two for us to distinguish who this person is here for. When we do, we will ask you to unmute yourself. Now, you don't see that button just yet. That's something special I have to press on my side. When we ask you to speak with Carrie or Phil, it's really only a few things we need you to say. We want them to do the work. We want you, everyone here, to know that they are bringing through the loved ones. So all we need you to say is yes when they give you information, or no, or I don't know. So just pretty much those three responses. Sometimes when we volunteer too much information, you can leave our Sunday gathering saying, oh, did they say it? Or did I say that? So just yes, no, or I don't know. Easy as can be. And yeah, let them do the work. Now, although there's just a handful of representatives that come through from the spirit world, everybody listen in, because there's a sneaky way that the messages can fit for all of us. So they are bringing through their personality and also their words of wisdom and inspiration for us. So we're going to hear a piece of music now. And our music is just to make us feel good and unite us. And you may know the song. I think you probably do. Now, I may have made a little error that it could come out very loud on your system when I press play. So if everybody can just have their finger on the volume right now, just to be on the safe side. And then when we come back, we'll have our demonstration. I try to do the best I can, but sometimes I tell you, they get to be a little loud. Okay, everybody's finger on the volume button. Here we go. We're definitely back to where we started from. All right, Carrie and Phil, who's going first?
That would be me, Sandra. And can you do the woohoo again for us?
Woo-hoo!
There we go. Fantastic.
Woo-hoo!
Absolutely brilliant. And I've got to say, it is like 2 years ago. It's really good to have Scott back with us. And I do sincerely mean that. It's just a pleasure to hear his voice. So it's my turn to work first. And I'm going to pass all the way over there, up there in the north of the UK into Scotland, which Kerry MacLeod will be. So putting that aside, and I know it's Mother's Day here in the UK, so I'd like to extend that warm love for every mother out there, mother to be, and those mothers that are in the spirit world that are surely be looking down on their families today as well. So as I begin to become aware of the spirit world, I know I have a mum here, and I know mum passes with cancer, and I know mum was a very strong personality, and I know there will be memories with mum where she used to sing around the house, and it's almost like I want to be doing the housework and chores, but I know mum, you would have memories of mum actually almost singing and imitating. And I do feel I want to be in the United Kingdom where there would be adverts she would sing along from the TV, like the Shake 'Em Back and everything else, because I've just got all these pictures going through my mind of these instances. So mum, somebody must have mum in the spirit world. I know she passes of cancer, and I know they would have the memory of him dancing around the home as well. And I do feel, I could be wrong, but I do feel I'm in the United Kingdom.
All right, thank you very much, Phil. All right, folks, who recognizes this lovely lady? If you would press your raise hand button, please.
Mm-hmm. So nobody's coming forward, are they not, Sandra? That's absolutely okay.
Oh, could be too, we spoke too soon. We got Ilsa. Let me just press her. Ilsa, could you press your unmute button? Hello.
Not the only thing is not UK. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'm going to say the only thing I did feel there was something not right there, but I just, because I'm going to be honest, the advert I heard was a UK one. That's why I thought it was the UK, but that's fine. So Ilsa, I know a little bit about you, but I don't know everything. Okay, is that right?
Yes.
That's fine, because I need to be honest. But again, with mum, would you understand where she was quite a lively character though?
Yes.
And if I said that she always wanted to paint a bright picture and keep people positive.
Yes, yes.
And it's this sense of where there will be memories of dancing and singing around the home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, you'd have no choice either to be brought into it or enact with her.
Yes.
Because it just feels that it's just this feel good, and it feels like she's a personality, your mother, that was very strong-minded, and you couldn't get out of it anyway.
Yes, yes.
But I just feel with mum as well, even though she could be positive, she was a very driven lady.
Yeah.
And I also feel here that she wanted the best for her family as well.
Yes, that's good.
And I do believe where she would be strong-minded, she would have her opinions and she would give her advice.
Yes.
And I do feel that you were going to be told, and she was going to share it, even if you didn't want it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Because I know here she is like a ray of sunshine, and I know she just wants to really keep people positive. And it's almost like Mum had a mission of just keeping people upbeat and uplifted.
Yes, yes.
And I also believe it wasn't just family. Anybody that came into contact knew her mindset.
Yes, absolutely.
And I also know that she would give frank, honest advice.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And I also know that she would always speak her truth.
Yes.
And I know that when she spoke her truth at times, it could be blunt and to the point.
Yes.
And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're family or not. I know that she could be like this. And I also believe through her power now, she's asking you to be blunt with your words, to have power with your voice. And I know that's from the spirit world. So I know that development's there of that trance state.
Okay.
Because I know here. Now, would I be right in saying your mum was also very sentimental?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I also believe with your mum that she liked to receive little small gifts, little small tokens.
Sorry, again?
Do you understand with your mum, she liked to receive small gifts like cards and things?
Yes, 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 yes.
Because I know here it's the sentiment, it's the value, it's the meaning of somebody thinking about her. And I know here your mum was your rock for a period of time.
Yeah.
And I know that even now you still talk with your mum and you confide in her.
Yes.
And I know that's why she's come tonight, because she's heard your words that have been very personal, very emotional just recently. And I know she wants to lend her ear and support.
Yes, thank you.
Bear with me 1 second. Would I be right in, as well, saying that when it came to work and business, your mum was just as positive and forthright as well?
Yes, yes, she was.
Because I know here it's in every department. She seems to be reflecting this with you, your work, your life, your emotions, absolutely everything. And I know there was a period with your mum where life wasn't wonderful, where she struggled a little bit, but she still kept her faith.
Yes.
And I know that was a very personal time for her.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave that love with you, with the knowledge that Mum knows everything, and that's why she's come.
Yes, thank you.
You're absolutely welcome, Ilse. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ilse. Thank you, Phil.
Good. That's fine. So as I become aware of the spirit world again, within my consciousness, within my mind, I'm aware that let me just look at this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I know that I have Mum in the spirit world. I know I've got Dad in the spirit world, but I know the communicator, the main one that seems to be coming forward, is grandmother. And I just feel here with grandmother, we would always be round at the house. It's almost like that center point. And I know we're feels like that old-fashioned family where everyone got together. But I know here, I do believe Mum's name is Margaret as well. And I do know there should be John in the spirit world. In fact, I'm going to go for this. I do believe John's in the spirit world, and that should be father as well. So I know I've got John and I've got Margaret, Mum and Dad, but I also know I've got the grandmother, and I just feel that her house, her personality is that pivotal point of the whole family, I want to say.
Thank you, Phil. We have our And we have Stacy with her hand raised. Oh, and also Betsy. We have
Okay, we got two people. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine here. But I actually feel as well that the grandmother would have been a really big personality. And when she spoke, everybody listened. And I know here as well that she would have either lived in like a small house and there'd be memories of the family, the get-togethers, because I do believe grandmother lived on her own.
Thank you very much. Well, we have Stacy, Betsy, and Maureen now with their hands raised.
Okay, and they can accept absolutely everything.
We are hoping so.
That's fine, because I actually and I also want to stay where, because we're going to have to check in with everybody, because I know I want to say that also there should be memories of going on holiday together, mum, dad, and grandmother, and the person I want to speak with.
Mom, dad, and grandmother. And the mom's name is Margaret and dad is John, correct?
Correct.
All right. So we have 4 folks with their hands raised. Now 3. 1 hand went down. Just making sure everyone has that, all the details.
Good, that's fine, because I know here, but I also believe as well that the person I want to speak with would have memories of where they went on holiday, where in fact, I don't feel it's just holiday. I just feel they spent a lot of the time with the grandmother. It's almost like grandmother did that little bit of looking after and being that extra support.
All right, thank you. So I'm just going to say your names to make sure you didn't accidentally raise your hands. We've got Betsy, Maureen, and Raquel. That can take 100% of the information. The hands are still up, Phil.
Sounds fine. And
Okay.
I'm going to go a little step further. It's almost, I feel that the person I want to be speaking with would have stayed with grandmother as well. So I know not just the odd occasional night, but it would have been weekends. And I know there should have been through summer holidays, that type of thing where we stayed with her.
Thank you, Phil. Well, we have 3 like people, ladies,
Right.
with their hands raised.
Can we drop all their hands and just see if any of them put their hand back up, please? Just because.
All right, just to be sure. All right,
Good.
ladies, I put your hands down. And if you can take 100% of that information, if you put your hands back up.
Okay, so Maureen, we're left with Maureen. Good.
Bring in Maureen.
Hi.
Hi, Maureen.
Hello.
Hello, Maureen. Do you understand everything I've said?
Yes, I do.
Good. And would you understand where your grandmother was like a second mother to you?
Yes,
And if I said she held the family together as well?
correct.
Because it just feels like everything ran through her. If we're going to do something, I want to really check in with her and get her thoughts on it.
Correct.
Because and I also feel that where I said before as well, you would have gone on holiday together.
Yes.
And it feels where she would have spent a lot of time looking after you. And I want to say as well, Maureen, that she would have treated you like an adult, not a child.
No.
No, you don't. No, you don't understand, or
No, I don't understand
you
that.
don't understand. Then if I said to you that she always respected you and talked things by you and almost interacted with you, explaining things what she did.
Yes.
Because that's what I mean. She seems to treat you that way and keep you up to date with everything as well. But I know that she was very strong-minded and she knew her mind and people knew her mind as well, how she would react to certain things.
Oh, yes.
And if I said morals and ethics were really important.
Yes.
And it just feels as well that she loved nothing better than to have her family around.
Yes.
And it just feels that's where you would have really fond memories of grandmother laughing, interacting with her, and really coming alive.
Correct.
And I want to say that she had an individual way with every member of the family that she gave her own that personal time too, where she'd interact and speak with them.
Yes.
And I know it's important because I feel she was that support for everybody in different ways.
Correct.
and her personality shone through. And I want to say that the way that she was could be different with different people.
True.
Because again, it's not you can't paint a character, because I know she's very individual depending. So I know she's got a really intelligent mind, and I know her life wasn't easy. She went through things, and this is where she got her experience from.
True.
And it just feels here. And would I be right in saying you would have a memory where we went on a holiday or a day out to where there was hills or mountains?
Yes.
Because I know she keeps on taking me out into the wilderness and just showing me things. It's almost like she's got a real fond love to being out in nature and having that freedom.
True.
That's fine. And would I be right in saying, Maureen, just recently that you've been looking through photographs yourself of grandmother?
Correct.
Because it feels like you've been going down memory lane, because I want to let you know that mum, dad and grandmother all have been around watching you.
Oh, that's good.
Because again, there's this sense of just acknowledging how much that support and love you're needing at the moment, and where your personal thoughts, and I know they are personal, you've been sending those thoughts, because I want you to know that they're here, they've listened, and they're coming around you.
Yes.
Okay. And I know you still talk to them, and I know, would I be right in saying that it's your grandmother that used to sing you either nursery rhymes putting you to sleep?
Yes.
Because I keep on hearing these little nursery rhymes where she's just trying to acknowledge and calm and soothe you. And if I understand this correctly, you've been asking lots of questions of the spirit world as well.
Oh, yes.
And I know they're here, and I know some of those questions are about the physical phenomena of that interaction around, and I know you've been waiting for those answers. Now, I can't prove what they're going to do, but I just feel at some point with you, you've already felt their presence.
Yes.
Because I know that that's building, because I know you've asked to see them once more.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave that knowledge and love that they know that, and leave that in capability within their hands to do it the most gentlest way to get your attention and let you know that you are very much loved. Thank you very much, Maureen.
Oh, thank you for bringing them back to life for me.
You're absolutely welcome, because they are still alive very, very much in that unseen
I'm so
world.
great. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Spirit.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Maureen.
Good. Okay. I just feel here as we come aware again, I know I have another mother with me, and I know she seems to be almost, I want to say, the impression gives me struck down in the prime of her life. I know it's a very sudden passing. I do get the impression that there's either a heart condition or a stroke or something that takes her very quickly. But I know she's only young, and the impression I keep on getting, I'm not hearing the age, but I just get the impression that she's around that, the 40s, maybe early 50s, that impression. But I also know it's almost like she's a very, close your ears, my dear, very attractive young lady, young mother. And again, she's just got this natural ability just to get on with everybody. So I know she's, how can I put this, very welcoming and appeasing with people in generosity and in her nature as well.
Thank you very much, Phil. Well, we have three with.
I thought there might be a few hands going up with that. Okay, that's fine.
With the hands
That's
up.
better. Because I just feel here as well that it feels like where Mum passed, to get the impression where it was outdoors. It wasn't in the home, it was outdoors.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can all four of you take that? It was also outdoors. If not,
I was going to say, can we drop everyone's hands and see?
Sure, we
if
can.
hand back up?
That worked out last time, didn't it?
It did. It went well.
All right, I have lowered everyone's hands.
So we got.
And now if you can take all of that information, including her passing outside, if you would raise your hand. Thank you. We have
And
a
I
big
actually-
audience today.
Okay,
so-
and I actually, fantastic. I also believe as well with Mum, I'll go that little bit further. Her presentation, her looks, she had to be right. And I know in a way she had this charisma about her where she looked like a little bit of an actress, a movie star type thing. She had that presence as well.
All right. I'm going to lower the hands again, everyone.
And I actually believe that when I'm talking about movie stars, she would have liked, I'm sure it's Julie Garland, that sort of impression.
Judy Garland. Okay. So if you can take that information also. Well, I think we have Alan. Oh, everybody else's hands just went up. Bill.
Again, so they all like Julie Garland. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look. That's fine. Okay. And I actually, would I be right, Sandra, saying that Julie Garland sung?
She did.
Okay. And I also know there would have been songs that Mum would have sung as well that were by Julie Garland.
Okay.
So they're all
Boy.
they're all
Everybody. Yeah.
That's fine.
Well,
That's good in a way. Everyone's listening as well.
That's right.
I'll go that little bit further. I'll just go back and see if there's something I've missed that would get me just to the one. That's fine. Yeah. And I actually believe we're either Mum had just left the person I want to speak to, because it feels like either we were just leaving or just meeting. I know there was something very close to that I want to speak to.
Okay, I'm going to lower hands again. And if you were just with your mom prior to her passing, raise your hand. Okay.
Still all three.
All three.
We've had every extreme. Let's just have a look here as well. That's fine, because we're really just dependent on what she gives here as well. And I also know with her that she, how can I put this? She wouldn't like to, because she's a little bit embarrassed, she wouldn't like to cause attention. She wouldn't like to be the center of attention. She's got this quiet personality as well, quiet demeanor, should I say, about her, very plausible, very gentle as she comes. And I also know that her life wasn't easy. It feels like there was either a period of time on her own and where she struggled to get through things.
Okay, once again, I'm going to put all hands down and then just go ahead and raise them if you could take that information. All hands are still up. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't see what we see, but we have 3 hands up. Now, we just had some folks that put their hands up.
Yeah, just jumping on because they're all, yeah, okay. So we'll just stick with the main ones that we've had. That's
every bit of the
fine.
Information. Yeah.
Okay. And I actually believe that I'm going to look at this, that there would be memories of either living, I've got you, now I understand. I also believe that I want to be either in Wales as well. Mum would have lived in Wales.
Okay, all hands going down. And if you can take all this information, plus Mom living in Wales, raise your hand. Okay, Lynn has had her hand up consistently.
Let's bring Lynn in.
All right. I accidentally pressed that button. Okay, Lynn, hello.
Hi there. Hi.
I can hear the accent. I just heard Mum's accent. That's absolutely fine. So you understand everything I've said, Lynn?
Yes, I do. Thanks, Phil.
And memory serves me right, I have given you a contact before.
Yes.
That's fine. So I'm going to ask the spirit world to just do something different. So okay. So I want to go back to something I've said. Would you understand where your mum used to sing like Julie Garland songs?
Yes.
That's fine. But I want to say she sung them at the top of the voice. She didn't hold her voice back.
Yeah, she did. Because
it feels like I want to belt it out. It feels like I just want to let rip sort of thing. Because I just feel where Mum had this little bit of, it's almost like she wanted to be a true self. So behind closed doors, she would sing loud. But I know out in the street, in public, she could be quite quiet.
Yes.
Because again, it's just the impression she gives me. But I also feel as well, you would have memories where Mum used to play the music, the old-fashioned LP records.
Oh, definitely, yes.
And again, and would I be right in saying she liked Elvis as well?
Yes.
Because I keep on hearing blue suede shoes. Now, where I also said as well that she liked to be presented well, she always made sure she was done up well, understand?
Yes. Yes.
And would I be right in saying that she used to like wearing a headscarf?
Yes.
And she used to wear the sunglasses as well.
I'm not sure about the sunglasses. She did have
This is where I
glasses.
got
but
the
not sun.
impression of Julie Garland and everything, the way that she impressed herself. But again, she used to almost follow the fashion of the TV stars or movies off TV.
Yes.
Because again, it's just the impression she keeps on impressing upon me. But I do believe, and I'll need to go back here, where Mum's life was quite tough at times.
Definitely.
Almost where she lived on her own, or she was providing for the family by herself.
Yes.
And because would I be right in saying she worked more than one job at once?
Yes.
Because it feels like I worked my hands to the bone, and I know it. And would I be right in saying one of the jobs was cleaning?
Yes.
And what are you also saying? She used to have another job working within a public house, like a pub.
Yes. Definitely.
And I also know she would have worked in a local store, like a grocery store type.
Yes.
Because it feels like I did whatever I could to bring that money home, because I know your mum was very supportive, very hardworking, but I also believe the morals and ethics, she didn't want other people thinking she didn't have or couldn't do.
Yes.
And I also believe as well, where I talk about the singing, would I be right in saying you yourself used to sing, Lynn?
Yeah, we used to do it together.
Oh, well, she not told me that, because I know there would have been where you went to either a children's choir or community choir or singing group.
Yes.
That's fine, because again, and would I be right in saying you had very similar voices?
Yes.
And would I be right, Lynn, your mum loved Tom Jones?
Definitely.
And she's making me laugh. Would I be right in saying she said if I could get my hands on him?
Oh, yes.
That's fine. I'm going to leave that there, because again, she's that's fine. I know ladies like Tom Jones, and I know your mum liked him, and I'm just trying, there's no way I can give what she's shown me politely. So again, I know she was a big fan, but I just believe here, going back to the singing in you and her, you could match each other's pitch and vibration and tone.
Yes.
And it was almost like you could hold harmonies, and who could hold the highest note between you.
Yes.
Okay, because again, I don't want to say we broke glasses, but I know the voices were quite high.
Yes.
But I also know, jokingly, you both seem to also try and get your both voices as low as possible.
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that's called like a baritone, where it's a low voice?
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I just feel where I know Mum could actually hold that note down there as well.
Yes.
But I also know I want to go back to another part of Mum's life, because I know as well she would have done errands and odd jobs for local neighbours.
Yes, she did.
Because, and I also believe as a goodwill gesture, in fact, before I go there would have been allotments in the area as well.
Yes.
And I believe as that goodwill gesture, she looked after allotments for people that were on their sick beds.
Yes, she did.
And I know those allotments were at the end of the road, and you saw the wall and you could see them over the other side.
Yes.
And if I'm right here as well, you know those allotments quite well.
Yes, I did.
Because you had friends, and friends' parents had the cabins or sheds, and used to go and hang in there as well.
Yes.
With female friends, I'll add that before anyone thinks anything untoward. But she said you used to go in there and smoke at times.
Oh, I didn't know she knew that.
She does now. So I know here as well. And I also know, do you know when you get a little knife or trowel and you can scrape names in the wood of the shed? You did that as well, because I know you had a few boys' names on there.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine, because she knows that as well. So again, but I know that your mum kept an eye on you. She wasn't over strict, but I know she let you live your life and she's very proud. She gives me, and in fact, I hear the words, she's very proud how you've turned out, Lynn,
Thank you.
because you're the carbon copy of her with morals and etiquette and the way that you try and do good for people.
Yes.
So I'm going to leave her love with you, but know she's around. And when, one last thing, when Mum did the odd jobs for people for the allotments, they used to pay her with the vegetables and things. They used to give her things.
Yes, they did.
Because if I'm right here, Lynn, you didn't like the cabbage.
I love the cabbage.
You loved it. Okay, so I've got it the wrong way around. Because I thought it was wrong. I was thinking that's a lot of cabbage. You're not bound to like that, but okay, you loved it. I've got it the wrong way. So I'm going to leave their love with you and say thank you very much, Lynn, for allowing me to do that.
Oh, thank you so much, Phil.
Absolutely welcome. And I'm just going to hand over back to Kerry, but say hello to to Sandra and Kerry in Scotland, because I've not seen you for a few days, so it's good to see you, Kerry. Joking apart, and say thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure to be part of this service.
Oh, thank you, Phil. And hello to Carrie.
Hello. It's lovely to see everybody watching, to not be in that same place as Phil. So we're all really in different parts of the world. So it's lovely to see everybody. Thank you for your talk earlier on, Scott, and the healing, and your reading, Sandra. I remember that reading way back on week 1. So it is very, very fond memories. And of course, I love watching Phil work, even at the best of times. So it was lovely to see you work. So I know on this Mother's Day, I know that mothers have been the ones that have been coming in, but I actually feel I am looking for a mother, because I feel like I've got daughter here, and I feel like daughter would have had a very quick, I know that daughter would have had a very quick passing, and I know that it is not, it could not have been preempted. I know this was very sudden, and I know there was not an illness here, but I do know that daughter did not have a hand in her own passing, did not have a hand in her own passing. But I do get this sense of there being accidental, and I do not feel that this is a car accident. I feel it is away from traffic. So would there somebody understand that?
Thank you very much, Carrie. We have Sheila with her hand up. Oh, we have now a few people with their hands up. All right.
I do feel like I have daughter, and I do feel like I am reaching out to Mum.
Okay. And for everyone raising their hand, just to be sure, you have to take 100% of the information that Carrie just spoke about. So we have 4 hands raised, Carrie.
Okay. Then when daughter sadly passed the spirit world, I do get a sense here that there was nothing that could have prepared. I don't feel it's illness. I feel that there is, there must have been a question about the passing, because I feel that there is a period of time between daughter passing and knowing what the reasons were.
All right. So I'm going to lower everyone's hands, because I have a feeling people could have accidentally. Now, ladies, because we're looking for a mom here, if you can understand 100% of the information that Carrie spoke, if you could press your raise hand button again.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
There when daughter passed, I do feel like it wouldn't have, it's not an accident with a car or any kind of road traffic accident here. I do feel I do get this sense that there is a delay after daughter passes. There's a delay in her being okay. I'll put this as politely as possible. Would one of the mums here understand their daughter's life being taken?
Okay, I'm going to lower everyone's hands. All right. And if you can understand that piece of information, if you'd raise your hand. Thank you. We have 2 with their hands up.
And I do feel I want to speak to Mum. So is there a lady at the end of every hand here?
Yes, we have a gentleman's name on one of them, but there could be a lady with the gentleman.
Okay.
So we will trust that.
And all of those people, all of those mums would understand this delay between daughter's passing and them finding out.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, we have Alan and Mrs. perhaps Whitney and Sheila with their hands raised. You can all understand that information. Yes, so we still have 3 hands up for those who don't know what we're seeing.
And one of the mums would have, every case of passing in this way would have a court case, but I do know that one of the mums here would have been in the courtroom and saw the accused in the courtroom.
Okay, I'm going to, okay, we had 1 hand go down. Sheila and Whitney, you can both take that information as yes.
And I want to say I'm a stateside. Does that make sense?
We have Sheila that's here with us, and the other hands went down. Whitney, Sheila, could you unmute yourself? Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Sheila. You understand everything I've said?
Yes.
You understand that this is your daughter?
Yes.
And you would know where these unfortunate circumstances created your daughter's passing and that you would have been in the courtroom with the accused?
Yes.
I want to say, Sheila, that there is such a depth of character with your daughter. So I know that she wouldn't have shied away from speaking her truth.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I want to say that she would have had she would have had a few choice words to say had she had a physical voice.
Yes.
Sheila, you
Yes.
would know as well that during that trial there was points where there was a denial on the part of the accused.
Yes.
Okay, but you also know, Sheila, that you had an incredible strength whilst you were going through that process.
Yes. Yes.
I need to say, Sheila, that there is, your daughter must have had a tattoo as well.
Yes, several.
Okay, and one of those tattoos must have been of a flower, or would have been with petals, or a flower.
Yes. Yes.
Because I know she brings that in, that there is a real sense of her wanting her character to be strong and for it to be present, and for her to, you have wondered about, as any mother would, about those final moments, because there must be gaps in the information you have about your daughter's final moments.
Yes. Yes.
Please know that your daughter is so forthright that she, as any child would want their mum not to be bothered or to feel in pain about that they're passing. But I do know your daughter wants to let you know that she did not experience what you felt she did.
Okay.
There is such a requirement from your daughter. And I remember I said she spoke her mind and she stood up for herself. And if there's no way you'd be able to ignore her if she had something to say.
Absolutely.
This is her saying, Mom, that is not what your worst nightmare is, not how it was. I also know, Sheila, you must have very recently heard a song come on the radio or on Spotify or something like that that reminded you directly of your daughter.
Yes.
And you also have had a sense from your daughter that she has been close. Some of her friends must have been in touch with you randomly as well, Sheila.
Yes. Yes.
This is to prove that she sees what's happening to you, which proves that she's with you, which lets you know that she hasn't ever left. I know that there are people in the family right now requiring healing.
Yes.
And I know that there are some medical issues with people right now, Sheila.
Yes.
Please know your daughter is beckoning the best healers to come and help with this, because whatever it is, it's very specific. Because I know she's saying, I've searched for the specific healers that will be able to assist.
Hey.
Sheila, please
Thank
know
you.
that this is your daughter's way of saying Happy Mother's Day. I know it's early. I know in the US and Canada it's not until later in the year, but from the UK it's Mother's Day today. So Happy Mother's Day from your daughter, and please don't ever feel she's far away, because knowing her personality, she's not going far.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Sheila. Thank you for allowing me to do that for you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Carrie, to your daughter as well.
Okay. I do feel I have another young person here, so I have a feeling that there's another Mother's Day present coming. I do feel I have Son here, and I feel that Son grew up to be an adult. I don't feel he made it into what we would call grown up, 30s and 40s, but I do feel like he made it into being an adult. I do feel like he might have actually just have left college, and I want to say that this was again, it feels like there was an accident here, but I do feel that in some way Son was responsible for his own passing. Now, I do not feel he took his own life, but I do feel he was involved in things that contributed to his passing.
Thank you very much. Okay. We have Whitney and Melissa, Colleen, Hayden with their hands up. Thank you.
So would one of these lovely ladies understand their son passed, I have to say it the way it is, with a drugs overdose?
All right, I'm going to lower everyone's hands. We've got quite a number of hands up. And for those of you who can take all the information, if you'll go ahead and raise your hand again.
And I do feel that Son would have not long left college. I'm talking not long at all. So he passed in the same year that he left college.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. Ladies, I'm going to lower your hand once again. Sorry to do this, but we have so many hands going up. I think it's the easiest way. All right, if you can also take that information just after college. Okay, we have Whitney. I'm going to bring you in. And I know a couple ladies just put their hands up, but we have Whitney here, Carrie.
Hi, Whitney.
Hello,
Hello. You understand Son in the spirit world, Whitney?
I do.
Okay, and you understand the details that I've given?
Yes,
You also know that he would have been very much involved in the sports in college.
yes,
You would have also known, Whitney, that your son was well liked by the girls.
yes,
I know that Phil had a lovely looking lady, but I have to say your son is a good looking young man. I know that he would have liked to take care of himself as well, because I know he's quite broad in the shoulders.
he was, yes,
But I also, you would know that he played American football, or the sports that's got the cage on the shoulders.
yes,
Okay, because I know suddenly his shoulders just got bigger wearing this big cage here. And I want to say as well, Whitney, you must have the trophies that your son won at college.
I do.
You must still have them on show, though. You must still have them out on show.
They are.
Okay, then there's one in particular that you were looking at today. There was one in particular that you were looking at today, Whitney.
Possibly.
Oh, then if you look at the trophies belonging to your son, there's one in the middle near the front of wherever these are.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes, there are many. Yes.
Okay, then he must have also given you a trophy saying the world's best mum, either on a mug or on some sort of award or badge.
Yes.
Because I know he's saying, well, I got all of these, but you got the most important trophy, the one that said the world's best mum. I know too, Whitney, you must have gone out of your way to get your son to all these sports. You must have put your own needs to one side in order to look after what he needed at college.
I did.
And that must have involved pretty long journeys as well for you.
Yes.
Because I know that he's ever so grateful. From that side of life, he can see just out of the way you went for him. I also need to say, Whitney, that at his celebration of life, you must have found out things about him that you didn't know about his college life.
Yes.
And I know I get the sense from him like, oh, not all of them my mum should know. But I know your son had the best intentions. I also know your son must have been a mentor or some form of person that supports other college newcomers. I can't think of the word, but I know that he acted as a mentor for the younger students.
Yes.
He must have also coached some of the teams.
He was a counselor, not a coach.
He was a what, sorry?
Counselor.
Right, and that would have, then I'm going to hear what you've said there, but I also know that he must, in his counselling, he must have supported and cheerleaded and really supported the other students in a way that they would have felt that confidence.
Yes.
And I know that many a time you stood on the sidelines with him screaming so he could hear you that you were supporting him.
Yes.
Please know that he's with the song and the awards and everything that he's bringing to you right now, his way of saying, Mom, I'm there with you. I see what's happening. I'm bringing healing, and I'm also still your cheerleader. He is there in the background. Just picture your son with a pair of pom-poms, because that's a picture he's giving me. He is majorly cheerleading you. And I know that you have advocated on behalf of people, Whitney, very recently.
Correct.
This is a reason he wants to come in now, because he wants to acknowledge that not everybody has got your back right now.
Yes.
He has. Don't doubt it. He is there. He's shaking his pom-poms in front of everybody that's not got your back. His way of saying, come on, Mom, let's do this. I'm here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Whitney. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that on behalf of your son. And thank you to the other mothers that have been recipients and also from the spirit world as well. Thank you very much, Sandra.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you, Whitney, as well. And as we move on, I just want to say every one of us is here because at some point, grief has got us, and some are deep in the throes of grief right now. And why we want to share the reality of the afterlife is, well, for several reasons. One, to let you know that they're still alive and you're going to see them again. Without a doubt, you will. Two, is to let you know their love still lives on. They support you. They love you. They're just a breath away. I don't want to say we don't need a medium to contact them, because we don't, but as muggles, as they'd say in the hot Harry Potter world, we might not know how they're trying to reach us. The best way to feel their love, is to think of a happy memory with them, or grab their picture and talk to them, talk about old times. They work through our feelings and through our imagination. Carrie and Phil teach our weekly psychic and mediumship classes where you can actually experience using those muscles that you may not have used before. And we all have that dream, like Scott said, that someday we don't need mediums, because you're able to get those gentle feelings and you'll know that they're right here with you. So they're definitely here. On our home base, which is wedon'tdie.com, there's a store button. And if you scroll down some way, you can find my audiobook, which is called We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death. Be my guest, use coupon code FREE, F-R-E-E, and chapter 10 is How to Survive Grief. You can read it or you can listen to it. No matter what we believe, grief is the most painful thing we're ever going to have to deal with. So our hearts go out to all in our community here. It is a very, very tough road. Don't go it alone. We've got a wonderful Facebook group you can also find on that website, and be part and share your story. We are really here to support you. Absolutely, we are. So some things that are coming up. We've got some great things. First of all, April's coming up and we have our new classes with Carrie and Phil and psychic and mediumship. There's one called the Spiritual Assessment. So you can learn how to do spiritual assessments with another. On Mondays, we have classes with Scott Milligan, Trance and the Altered States. You'd also find me there. And then coming up this week, which is exciting news, is on Tuesday, Scott has offered some Sitting in the Power hours. And it's 2 times on Tuesday to sit, be led into the power, which is a very personal journey with your soul. So you'll have your eyes closed for much of it and learn some wisdom from Scott. Also happening a little bit later in the day on Tuesdays is on actually this Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to be with Scott for what's called a mini intensive. So if you're interested in spending a long time with your eyes closed, we're going to sit longer than we normally do in our classes for development, for working with your spirit team, for helping us have that feeling of being with our loved ones, and also for healing. On Friday, we sit for healing with Scott, followed by a demonstration of trance mediumship. This is all from memory now. On Sunday, we've got our Sunday gathering. Carrie's going to be our hostess with the mostest, creating that. And then coming up in just a couple of weeks' time with Carrie and Phil, they have a 5-hour course called the Private Reading Medium. And then they also have a weekend class on clairvoyance. There's probably more, but it's all there at wedon'tdie.com. You click on the store button. There's also now, between my 2 podcasts, well over 400 episodes, lots going on. And I think that's it, except for a big major shout out to all of you who have donated at one time or another to our Sunday gathering. You've made it possible for us these past 2 years. And beyond a shadow of a doubt, thank you, thank you, thank you, because you've helped us also put food on our tables, but also help us get to a much larger audience. And we regularly have, at least 200 people watching live, and then maybe 1,000 more during the week who will watch the replays. So you never know whose darkest days you've made a little bit brighter. So we want to thank you. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie for some words of inspiration going forward this week.
Funny you should say words of inspiration, because that's what I'd like to finish on. Inspiration. The Sunday gathering grew out of inspiration, all from the spirit world. At different points in different places with different people, inspiration was shared. It was shared in a way where the idea was planted well before we knew what this pandemic could ever do. In fact, before we even had heard the word COVID-19, the idea of inspiration was planted. It simmered and it grew. Inspiration, when it is active, means that it means thinking out of the box. It means starting something new, not something that's been done before or invented or is in existence already, but something that is new. So what's sitting waiting on being inspired through you today? I'm sure there's something, because I don't feel the spirit world ever wastes moments. So allow yourself, this has been a celebration of 2 years of looking back, but now we focus on moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it over to Phil for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If we could bow our heads and join together in what we call prayer, and from your minds, from your hearts, and from your very soul, extend your thoughts to that unseen world and your loved ones, and thank them for that blessing of life that they've given us, inspiring us, wanting the best, and helping us create better choices within this world. As we raise our minds to that unseen world, we also ask for that blessing and that healing to be taken to those that are in need and those places within this world that are in need. But also we ask for that healing and upliftment and positivity to stay with each and every one of us and everybody else in this world, to take this world and people and places forward, to create that harmony, that balance, that upliftment, but most of all, peace, that we all share this one place. Amen.
Thank you very much, Phil. And again, thank you everyone who's joined us today, including our friends in the spirit world. A shout out to Darren. We miss you. We love you, but we know you're with family. But Darren has picked our closing song, and it's a little bit of rock and roll. We don't often have rock and roll in our Sunday gathering. It's a Bryan Adams song sung by others, but it's you can't stop what we started. So this goes to show that our Sunday gathering is going to keep on keeping on, folks. We're not going anywhere. So here's our closing song.